So here's the thing. A brand new Zelda game just got released, everybody. Fuck! A brand new Zelda game just got announced, everybody. Just yesterday, Nintendo released a trailer for the next installment in the Zelda franchise, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. On top of just being the first 2D Zelda game we've gotten in a while, this is also the first time that Zelda is the lead character in a Zelda game. That's a pretty big deal. Zelda has been a very popular character as of late, steadily progressing over time from nothing more than a damsel in distress from the first game to practically the main character of the story by Tears of the Kingdom, the most recent game. And I think that progression is kind of why people are a bit miffed at the way she's being portrayed in this new game. Now I'm going to come off right off the bat and say this much. I do not think that this game is going to be bad. I think it's going to be completely fine. However, I can't help but agree with the people who think that the way that Zelda is being shown here is kind of lame, especially regarding how she's generally portrayed nowadays. See, the main gameplay gimmick is that Zelda gets this magic wand at the start of the game, which allows her to copy pretty much anything she sees, from items to enemies, and utilize them to get through the game. Again, I think that on its own, that's a fine concept for a game. However, I feel like the problem arises from the fact that that's really all that Zelda can do in the game. Now, don't get me wrong, I get conceptually where they're coming from here. Zelda is a different character than Link, so it makes sense that that should be reflected in the gameplay. And I like the concept of them utilizing Zelda's intelligence. You know, you can't just rush in with a sword, you have to stop and think about the encounter beforehand, and use the tools at your disposal to come up with a way to surpass the obstacle. That I like. However, the problem to me seems that Zelda can't attack enemies at all. The only way that we've been shown that she can attack anything is just by chucking rocks at them. Yeah, that's funny and kinda cute, but also kind of lame given what we've seen Zelda is capable of in other games. The reason why people wanted to play as Zelda is because she's fucking cool. You know, she's literally a goddess reborn in human form. There should be more spells to her than just copying things. I want to see her do cool shit. Now, obviously, I don't expect to have the same literal godlike abilities that she has in something like Breath of the Wild, where she can do shit like this. But, you know, a fucking fireball spell would be nice or something. I also feel like that would be a good way to tie in the traditional Zelda gameplay loop of getting items throughout the game that help you progress. You know, Zelda gets different spells that can help her throughout the game. A fireball spell, an ice spell, lightning spell, that sort of shit. All of which have different effects and all that. Maybe not that exactly, but just some way for Zelda to hit an enemy without needing to summon something else to do it for her. I don't know, it feels like we're almost falling into that stereotypical princess angle, which Zelda has continually not been a representative of. Zelda's a princess, yes, but in no means a stereotypical one. In pretty much every Zelda game since Ocarina of Time, she's been portrayed as someone who is willing to and able to fight pretty skillfully. Hell, she's one of the final bosses in Twilight Princess. That just goes to show how strong she is. This feels more like the type of thing that Princess Peach would do, you know? She's more the stereotypical tea party having, cake making princess. Even then, Princess Peach Showtime lets her fight enemies, what the hell? It doesn't help that the game is also 2D. And don't get me wrong, I love 2D Zelda. Most of those games are fantastic. But some people are annoyed that Zelda's first starring role is in what is generally considered the smaller scale games of the franchise and not the next big Zelda game. I have to disagree though. I get where Nintendo's coming from. This is a very experimental game for them, so I don't want their next big, important Zelda game to be tied to an unproven concept. I feel like a lot of the I don't want to say outrage. I feel like a lot of the annoyance coming from this game is more so just indicative of how good Zelda as a character has been portrayed as of late. We're fucking spoiled, man. Zelda has been an incredibly strong character writing-wise ever since Wind Waker, and she's just been getting better and better as the franchise goes on. Again, she's basically the main character of Tears of the Kingdom. I feel like if this game came out in like the GameCube era, or even the early Wii era before, you know, Skyward Sword came out, people would be a lot less annoyed about the way that Zelda is being shown here. But after Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and especially Hyrule Warriors, portraying Zelda as someone who can't get their hands dirty, I don't know, it just feels like she's regressing as far as her characterization goes. I hope I'm not coming across as someone who doesn't like this just because it's different, you know, like those guys that hated Wind Waker because of its art style. I like the fact that it's different. I want stuff that's different. You know, part of me feels like I'm kind of talking out my ass here. I mean, we haven't even really seen the full game yet. Who knows, maybe I'm completely wrong, and that spell idea I had is in the game. Maybe there's a whole other side to this game that they're just not showing us for some reason, I don't know. And again, like I said, I don't think the game's going to be bad at all. I think it's going to be fine. I just think that it's lame that Zelda's being portrayed the way that she is. But if there is something positive to take away from this, it's how much people care about the character of Zelda. You know, there's always people talking about how little representation of certain groups there are in video games, and where you stand on that point is up to you. But I think that's very telling that a lot of people are annoyed about the way that Zelda's being shown here. People are up in arms because they don't want her to be portrayed as the stereotypical princess. They want her to be portrayed as a cool hero in her own way. And honestly, I just think that's very sweet. I'm sure the game's gonna sell well, I'm sure the game's gonna be reviewed positively, and I'm sure that this isn't going to be the last time we see a playable Zelda. I just hope that the next time that does happen, Nintendo really taps into the potential that Zelda has as a hero, and portrays her in a much more badass light. You know, I've given my 2 cents as to how I think that could work with the whole magic spell thing, but what do you guys think? How would you portray Zelda in a way that's different from Link while still making her seem like a cool hero? Leave a comment and let me know. In the meantime, I'll be playing Hyrule Warriors and continuing to work on that massive project I started 5 fucking months ago. I think it's gonna be 6 soon. Jesus fucking Christ, why do I do this to myself? You guys are gonna like it, or you're gonna hate it, I don't fucking know. But it's coming, whether or not you want it. I know I'm being vague here, but I want it to be a surprise. Don't you worry, though. It's gonna be something big. I know I keep saying that, but I mean it. I don't know when it's coming out. It might be fucking August, but I swear to you, something's coming. Alright, that's enough rambling. How do I end these again? And that was the thing.